Hello vinyl community, this is Patrick the Vinyl Archivist coming to you from my garage, otherwise known as my clean room. This is going to be a long promised / threatened video on how I clean my records. So cleaning your records is a somewhat contentious topic. Everyone has their routines, their methods, and this is just going to be my experience and how I clean my records today. I'm not going to say that this is going to be how I'm going to clean records for the rest of my life, because if I had said that every time I've changed my methods, I'd be a liar many times over. But I will share with you my previous experiences and why I'm doing it this way. So I've been cleaning a lot of records. I've probably cleaned thousands and thousands of records over the years. Dirty records, not so dirty records. I've used probably every known commercial liquid, from Disc Doctor to Bug Tussle Vinylzyme to L'Art de Son, everything. I've used home brews, Simple Green, which is a industrial crystal green. I've used Dawn dishwashing liquid. I've used Dove 2-in-1 conditioner. I've used the wood glue method. I've used the steam method. I've ultrasonicked. I've made my own record revirginizer product that you peel off. I think Michael Fremer reviewed it. I used to make my own, and I mean, just everything under the sun I've used. So over the years, it's come down to this. The big change for me happened about a year ago. I saw a video that everyone talks about with Charlie Kermis, who makes the Kermis ultrasonic machine, which I have one, and I'll show it here in a bit. But he was at the Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, I think that's what it's called, and there was a big panel, and he went off the rails and said some crazy stuff. But the one takeaway, if I took away all of the stuff about his demonstrations and stuff, was the mechanical scrubbing and cleaning of the records. So I saw that and I said, I don't do a lot of scrubbing and cleaning of the records. And I also started changing my chemical types, talking to an organic chemist that is an archivist like me, and I started relaying my results, and then he would use his organic chemistry knowledge to say, okay, we can refine this by doing X, Y, and Z. And so that's how I got to where I am today. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the equipment I use first. Then I'm going to show you the chemicals, and then I'll do a video pointed at the cleaner so you can see the process. Like I said, this is just my experience. I'm not saying anything that you do or don't do is right or wrong. This is just what works for me today, and it's pretty inexpensive, other than the vacuum, but you can get cheap versions of this. So without further ado, let's introduce the equipment that I use and don't use. Okay, this is a VPI HW 16.5. It's kind of like the industry standard. It's been around forever. Mine's about 10 years old. Never give me any problems. Now, usually there's a platter that sits here, and the record sits on the platter. I've gotten rid of the platter. I unscrewed it. I got this label protector right here, screwed some holes into it and mashed it down, and then I have this thing here for the record to sit on. So now the record sits here and floats free, so I don't have any old stuff on the cork that might get to the record. So I found that just works for me. I replaced the normal brush with this Delrin brush. It won't break, because typically the clear brushes like this one, the wands like this one, these will break over time. This is a 445s. So the Delrin one will last forever. I have had this for 5 years now and never given me any problems. So this is the record vacuum right here. Okay, this is my Kermis ultrasonic with my vinyl stack. You may be asking, well, why do you need a vinyl stack if the Kermis has these? I've covered these. There's little slits in here where you can put records. Well, I found that the slits sometimes can cause little micro scratches on 200-gram records. So I already had a vinyl stack, so I just use that with the Kermas. I like to put stickers on my equipment, but so there's one ultrasonic. So this is my other ultrasonic. This is actually a 27 liter, holds about 9 gallons. It has 12 transducers. This is a beast. I used this for a long time, but currently, as you can see, it's not in use. Now let's talk about the chemicals, okay? So my first step, I use Liquinox. This is a cleaner detergent. You can probably get it for like 23 bucks on Amazon. I think it's a 1%, 1 to 100 dilution. So this is my first step chemical, and I usually put it in a smaller bottle. There's a little spray bottle that I've repurposed. It's BPA free, so there's no degrading of the plastic. So that's round one. My second layer, my second process is I use Tergikleen S7. This is kind of hard to get unless you're a business, but they do make like Tergikleen and other similar type products. And I also mix this with what is called Ilfotol, or you could just use the Ilfotol alone if you wanted to, but this is about 20 bucks on whatever, what's that, B&N. So the B&N something, the camera supply shop. You can just search for Ilford Ilfotol. It's about 20 bucks, and it's diluted. I don't know the percentage. It's on here, but whatever they tell you to dilute it by, follow the directions. So for this, I use this little spray bottle. This is round number 2 process. And for my rinse process, I use this chemical called Cynostat. So I got this off of a guy on an audio forum who bought Cynostat, it's an anti-static, who bought this off some chemical company, and you really can't buy this stuff. But there's lots of anti-static, I think one's called Hepistat that you can use as your anti-static, and that's for the last rinse. So I use deionized water that I get from Whole Foods. It's like 30 cents a gallon, and that's the water I use to mix these with. So I mix all this stuff in. I keep the chemicals in my refrigerator out here, and they last forever. Okay, so let's clean a record. So I'm going to position the camera so you can look at the VPI, and we'll go from there. So here's the record in question. This is Angel's first album that I bought yesterday. So I stick it on here. Where did I put my clamp? Here's the little VPI clamp right there. Alright, so we're going to spin it. So this is my Liquinox right here. And here's a brush. Just going to spray some on the brush. Can't see it, but I think y'all can figure out how to spray liquid on a brush. So now I've got liquid on the brush. Just kind of brush it in like this. Back and forth. Let it go around. See, even though there's no cork underneath it, it's not dipping too bad at all. I didn't realize how loud this is. I usually have headphones on as I'm watching videos of you fellow YouTubers. So you just kind of work it in. Now it's time to vacuum. Hold your ears. So I let it go 3 times. And now I have the Kermas brush. Oh yeah, by the way, this brush here is an Osage brush. You can get that for about 20 bucks or so. I use different brushes for each one just because I have the brushes and it's easier for me to remember what's what, so I don't want to, accidentally put the Tergikleen on the Liquinox brush, so this makes it easier for me. So this is a Kermas shaving type bristle brush. So I'm going to squeeze some of the Tergikleen Ilfotol on here. Not a lot, probably about 5 squeezes. And now we're going to start working this in. Do it left-handed so you can see it. circular motion, back and forth, just kind of work it in. And you can do it for as long as you want. I know some people that do this for a minute. That's usually don't do that unless it's a really rare record or one that I know is really dirty, or something that has a lot of quiet passages. Just keep moving. Now we're gonna rinse it off. Cover your ears. Okay, now the last brush. This is a MoFi brush, and here's the deionized water with the Cyostat. Just kind of spray it on there. Work in. Don't press down hard, because that's not the purpose of it. It's got little fibers there, so you don't need to put pressure on it. Just let it do its thing. And now we're going to cover your ears one more time. Okay. Now we'll take a look at the record. So here's the record now. Can't really tell how clean it is, but so then I'll flip it over, I'll do the other side, and that's it. I mean, that is all. It's actually pretty simple. It's very effective. I've played records that I've ultrasonicked and cleaned and seen improvement after using this method of those records. So I'll put a link to the various chemicals in the description, but hope you guys like the video and maybe inspires you to, check out some of these chemicals and these processes. I think the most important thing is the mechanical process and the vacuuming off and the rinsing. You can get a record vacuum system that attaches to a shop vac for probably about $120. And if you have a lot of records, I would say that is or buy a lot of used records especially, that's a very worthwhile investment. I'll put some links to some various products in the description. I mean, I don't have a skin in the game for any of this stuff, man. I mean, I just, want people to be able to explore different options. So that's the end of this video on how I clean records. Thanks for coming into my clean room, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.